Hey, I want to talk about something that's been on my mind for a while. Something I think most people get completely wrong. Zero. We've been taught to fear that word. We treat zero like it's nothing, like it's an insult. Like if you're starting from zero, zero followers, zero experience, zero money, zero proof of anything, then you're somehow behind. You're somehow less than everyone else who already has something to show. But I'm here to tell you that's backwards. Completely backwards. Zero isn't nothing. Zero is powerful. And once you really understand that, I think everything shifts. Every single thing you value right now, everything you're proud of, everything that matters to you, it all started at zero. Not at 10, not at 50, at zero. The person with the thriving business, they had a zero customer day. They remember it. They were sitting there wondering, does this even work? Will anyone actually care? They had nothing except an idea and the willingness to try. The creator with millions of followers. They posted to zero people. Nobody watched it, nobody knew it existed, they posted it anyway. The engineer you respect, the athlete you admire, the person whose life looks polished and figured out from the outside, they all had a zero moment, complete blank page, no clue, starting from nothing. And here's what I really want you to get. That zero moment isn't weakness. That's not where you're behind. That's where you're most free. Because at zero, you have no reputation to protect. You don't have old wins holding you back from trying something completely different. You don't have habits so ingrained you can't change them. You don't have an ego that's invested in being right about how things should work. Zero is honest. It doesn't let you hide. It just asks you one clear question. What are you actually going to do next? Most people run from that question. They'd rather stay comfortable in the middle somewhere, some progress, some excuses, some I'll get to it eventually, than face the sharp clarity that zero demands from you. But that discomfort, that's exactly where the power lives. Because when you're at zero, the first step you take isn't small, it's infinite. You're moving from nothing to something. That's the biggest leap you'll ever make in anything. Bigger than going from good to great. Bigger than going from great to elite. The jump from zero to one is the hardest jump there is, and it's also the most powerful. Think about the math of it for a second. Anything multiplied by zero equals zero, that's true. But anything added to zero, even the smallest thing, becomes something greater than zero. And that's the point. You don't need to multiply your effort right now. You just need to add something. One action, 1 hour, one honest attempt. That's enough to move the needle. Here's something else I think about. Everyone you look up to has a zero they don't talk about. The successful founder has a zero revenue month they remember. The published author has a zero-word document staring back at them, blank and terrifying. The athlete has a zero medal season where they wondered if they had what it takes. You only see their current number. You see the followers, the success, the proof. You don't see the version of them that once stood exactly where you're standing right now, unfinished, unproven, uncertain. But they were there, every single one of them, at zero. And they didn't stay there because they were special or talented or lucky. They moved forward because they understood something simple. Zero doesn't mean you can't. Zero means you haven't yet. And haven't yet is not a permanent condition. There's something else about zero that I think is really important. Zero has no weight. It doesn't slow you down. You're not carrying the burden of a failed attempt, a bad reputation, a past mistake. You're just starting. That lightness, that freedom, that's power. A lot of times we're looking for permission to start. We're waiting for the right moment, the right feeling, the right amount of certainty. But zero doesn't ask for permission. Zero just asks, are you going to move? And the beautiful thing is, you don't need to know the whole path. You don't need to see all the way to the end. You just need to take the next step from zero to one. That's it. Because here's the truth, nobody tells you. The people who build something that matters aren't the ones who had all the answers at the beginning. They're the ones who were willing to start with zero answers and figure it out as they went. They didn't wait to feel ready. They didn't wait for permission. They didn't wait for the perfect conditions. They looked at zero, understood it wasn't nothing, understood it was actually loaded with possibility, and they moved anyway. So if you're at zero right now, in anything, a business, a skill, a degree, a goal, you're trying to build a version of yourself you're trying to become, I want you to stop apologizing for it. Stop shrinking when someone asks what you've accomplished. Stop feeling behind because your number is still zero. Stop treating it like it's a limitation, because it's not. Zero is where everything powerful begins. Zero is potential in its purest form. It's the moment before anything has been decided about you, except one thing: what you're going to do next. That's all zero ever was. Not an ending, a beginning. The first step from 0 to 1 is the hardest step you'll ever take in anything, but it's also the only step that matters. Everything else flows from that one decision to move. So move, add something. One action, one day, one honest attempt. That's all you need to do. Because the moment you do, 0 stops being nothing. It becomes 1. And 1 is where the whole story begins. If you're starting from 0 in something right now, drop a comment and tell me what it is. Let's build it together. And if this hit you, subscribe because your 0 is about to become something.